Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Just wanted to thank you for tuning in. If you don't mind, give me a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. I do these videos because I work in the paddle industry, and the reason I started this channel was to get information out. There's a lot of bad information out there or incorrect information. Not saying I'm perfect, but I have access to these. That's all I do is paddle sports and paddle sports retail. But anyways, hope we get some value out of the channel. And if you have any questions or want to see something else, or maybe some more details on what I've already posted, let me know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks again. Hey everybody, Bearded Paddler back here, coming out with another video, and I'm going to go over an entire lineup. But before I do that, if you could hit that like and subscribe for me if you haven't already. It really helps the channel out, helps us get the videos out to a wider audience, and also maybe this video might help somebody else if it's helped you, if you see any value in it. Again, if you would consider doing that, I really appreciate that. But without further ado, I'm going to be doing a walkthrough of Bonafide's entire lineup. So as of right now, one of the most popular videos on the channel so far has been the RVR 119 video I did. You can check that one out on the playlist. It's kind of the primitive video. I hadn't really decided how I wanted these videos to look. I kind of did it really quick. So again, you know, cut me some slack a little bit on that. It wasn't really the best quality. I've got the little bars on the side because I had the phone. I didn't have it in landscape mode and all that. Appreciate everyone's feedback on these videos too. It's kind of helped me get better with these. But so what you see, that's it in all its glory, the Bonafide fishing lineup. So again, Bonafide is a fishing kayak company. They're owned under really the same group that does Yak Attack, so that's kind of a neat thing as well. Hopefully you've seen the Bonafide SS127 video. The 107, so the 107 and the 127 are very, very similar kayaks, almost too similar. So what's the difference between the two of these? What is one meant for versus where the other one doesn't? So the 127, that is your customizable. If you want to make a kayak out to be a bass boat, you want to put the motors on it, the depth finders, you want to have a lot of gear with you, comfortable seat. That's the sauce right there. That is the kayak to do it with. It'll accept the bow mount trolling motor. It'll accept the torpedo mount on the stern. It'll accept a wide variety. But one thing I was wanting to show you too, so another video that I've done that shows the difference between 10 and 12 foot kayaks, kind of explaining that a little bit. It's the same thing on these. So you can see here, this lines up and this is going to line up. So your cockpit's the same size between the two. What do you get in one versus the other? Well, you get a longer nose, which is a longer storage hatch. The video here is kind of making these look a little similar, but right there. So much larger hatch. The 127 will actually open from here and here just by flipping those hatches up. And the 107, you're going to get, it's just going to open up from here, from the cockpit. So you get a lot more storage in the front. You also get a lot more storage in the back. So you can see here, the difference between the two is the tank well also. You're getting that extra 2 foot in the rear and the front storage. So much bigger tank well in the 127 as you'd expect. It's also got these little padded strips. That's to keep things quiet if you got your tackle crate set up. Both of them run this access hatch. That's if you want to run cabling, rudder, electronics, trolling motor setups. You can run it through the hull. That gives you access to run those wirings through it. And then also on the 127, you've got these little threaded inserts. That's for your power pole, you know, your electronic stake, for your anchoring system, Torpedo, which is a brand of trolling motor. You don't have that on the 107. Not saying you can't do it, but you got to get a little more creative with it. But that's really it. So it's the same padding kit, same seat. The differences you see here, this is a 22, this is a 23. They used a little bit of a fabric difference here on this one. But again, it's the same setup. It's just the smaller one is going to be more for maybe smaller bodies of water. It's a better throw and go boat in my opinion because of the kayak weight. So the 107 comes in at 67 pounds, which is phenomenal for that kayak. The SS127 comes in at 85 pounds. That's fully rigged. The 127's got a weight rating of 475 pounds, 425 on the 107. So again, a little bit more plastic, a little bit more buoyancy on that. One thing I should note, Bonafide does use the kayak weight in their max capacity. Whether you agree with that or don't agree with that, they've got that on their website. They're kind of, you're going to start to see that a little bit more on kayak companies and manufacturers really being more specific with how their weight capacities are figured out. I'll do a video on that because I've got some messages out to some manufacturers to get information directly from the dragon's mouth there, if you will, on those weight capacities. Hopefully you've seen the video on the RVR. So again, calm flat water, slow moving rivers, maybe a little bit of a wider river setup on the 127, but this one's the river setup. So this is moving water. This is a creeks, rivers. This kayak weighs 85 pounds. I've had it on a scale. That is a legit weight. It doesn't feel like 85 pounds without really having you here to lift it up. It's hard to explain that. That kayak feels a lot lighter than the 85 pounds that it's at, but that is a legit weight on that. 425 pounds also, like the 10.7 on the RVR 119. The RVR is a little bit wider too. So it comes in at 35 inches wide as opposed to the 107 being at 34.5. But man, you've got that rocker to it. So that banana shape, that's going to handle that adventurous water. You got the handle there for the drop down fin in the back, that drop down skeg. And look at that tank well. So that tank well is huge. That almost rivals the 127. So again, that's what I would call your serious fishing setups, calm flat water, maybe slow moving rivers, and then again, anything you can put that in on that RVR. The other two options here are the RS 117. This is a little bit more of what I would call a little bit more of a base model setup. So maybe you're not super, competitive tournament fishing. You just want something to get out there, carry a few poles with you, carry a little bit of gear, or just to float around in a really comfortable, stable kayak. That's where this one falls into place. So the weight on this kayak is 77 pounds. It's got a 425 pound weight capacity. It's 11 foot 7 inches wide, or long, I'm sorry, and 33.5 inches wide. So again, super stable kayak. Nice seat setup. You do have that high-low option. It just looks a little different than the SS series. You got the little pegs here on the front of the chair. You pull it up and out, and then it slides into these for that low position. Now, the one drawback of the RS series is this kayak is not really in what I would consider an optimal kayak for your taller paddler. When I say taller, I mean 6'1", 6'2", and above. At the low position, which is where you're going to want to paddle, you're not going to get a lot of that leg room there. You're going to have some knee bend. It's not going to be anything crazy, but if you're getting a kayak with this frame seat and that higher position, you want your knees to be somewhat level or maybe slightly above where your hips are. That's going to put all that pressure on your tailbone and on your lower back. And again, if you're out floating or fishing, you want to be out there for a while, you're going to feel that. You're definitely going to feel that. So keep that in mind. If you've got a paddle shop near you, sit in it. It's going to feel different than these. You may love this seat. You may hate this seat. You also may love this seat and hate these. That's kind of the benefit of getting in these, sitting in them. It also prevents you from buying something online or having it shipped to you, which I definitely would prefer staying away from. Because again, you don't know. Watching videos like this and from other people, again, we can sell you on a kayak. When you get it, you're unhappy with it. You just spent too much money. You may not have got the right kayak for what you need. That's where a paddle shop, a local shop helps. And a lot of times they can work with you on a lot of different stuff, and you end up better in the long run for that. So again, just my little soapbox thing with paddle shops here. Moving on here, the EX123. So it's a just over 12-foot kayak. This is your sit inside, and I love this kayak because it's definitely unique compared to other kayaks. So I always like saying this looks like one of those old like Miami Vice cigar boats. It's got that nice sleek profile to it. It is a fishing kayak. So this is designed for stability. It's designed to stand up in. You can see here, you got the padding here to stand up from and fish from. You got a nice little console that attaches in there. You got the little hatch here where you can store, small gear and items in. 2 cup holders mounted into there. Really comfortable seat. You also have a really, really large hatch here in the back that also has the sealed bulkhead in there. So there's foam with a little bit of silicone sealant around it that segments your hull really nicely. So if the end of it that you do turn over or fill up with water, your whole thing's not going to fill up with water and sink to the bottom. It's going to allow you that buoyancy just enough to kind of paddle it back to the shore and dump out, or to kick it, if you're not confident in climbing back up in a kayak from the water, grab the edge of it, kick your feet, get it back over the shore, dump it out, rinse and repeat. So that's the lineup here. The EX123 at 67 pounds. It's got a 375 pound weight capacity. It retails at $1,099. One thing that Bonafide has done is their prices have gone down. The SS127 was $17.99 last year. It's now $17.49. Same thing with the SS series. On the 107, it was $13.99 last year. Now that's running at $13.50. So again, guys, if you have any questions on these, let me know down in the comments. As always, I really appreciate the support, the feedback. And again, if you have any experience with these kayaks, let me know in the comments. It helps people looking for these. It may help somebody make a decision that's best for them and get them out on the water. But anyways, guys, I'll see you on the next one. And thanks again for tuning in.